Hey everybody. All right, so we are on the 30th. It is tomorrow's the 31st. We New Year's Eve, and so I think this is probably the last coding session unless something goes horribly wrong. Hopefully tomorrow is just wrapping things up, pushing out the latest code to the website, and all that. But so we did learn about the torus geometry and how the torus geometry, a torus is just a 3D version of a ring. I would have thought a ring was 3D in itself, but I guess it's not. I was thinking, like, I thought it was a waste of time to do 2D at the beginning of this. And then I was like, oh man, if I had started with 2D in this project, I would have the two-sided materials, right? Like right now, the materials are only one-sided, which makes my 2D things invisible as they flip around. It also has the effect of whenever I have like the camera going through something and it's inside of like a cube or a 3D thing, all suddenly all everything's gone. So I think I did not know why. I just thought maybe that was just a thing in 3JS, but now I know that by default materials are only created on the outside. So um, I definitely will start with 2D material. Well, probably start with the example from the 3JS npm site with a cube that's spinning. Start off just like last year, but then start to tease out everything with, like, right at the beginning, adding the import and export. Um, and I think I might, I don't know, I'm going back and forth on this, but I'm strongly leaning towards doing unit tests and end-to-end testing on this. I think that would be kind of fun. Um, you know, it'll slow things down, but yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to learn stuff. So if it slows it down, it slows it down. It's no biggie. I don't. There's no deadline. So, but anyway, so now today I want to do what's called a torus knot geometry, and I don't know that. Oh my gosh, there it is. Torus, not a geometry, not. Anyway, so we have these sort of previous changes for torus geometry as sort of guidelines to do the torus knot geometry. I think that I'm pretty happy with the way I implemented um, m- meshes. Although I do think that I wish I would have. I mean, now I see a mesh differently than I saw a mesh before, because a mesh is just a geometry and a material together. And what I'm wondering is mesh more of a group, anyways. Like, is it? Because I know you could put a light. I believe you could put a light inside of a mesh, and maybe that would have been a better way to do lights to begin with. Is have them all inside of meshes. Like when you create a light, you're actually creating a mesh with a light in it. And I bet you a lot of the issues I ran into with lights wouldn't have ever happened. So I don't know. We'll definitely look into that in the future in the next version. I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, this is going to be weird because you go back from available to just show all these advanced um, geometries and stuff and go back to, like, oh, it's just a spinning thing. Okay, I do not think we need anything else other than the tube diameter for the knot. But I don't remember. But I guess we'll see when we create the um, um, in the service when we do the create one. It'll tell us what the the parameters and uh, the parameters in their defaults are. I don't know. Oh, that's because there's only one comma. All right, so I think we are done in the interfaces. Those are the three. Didn't really have to think too much about it. I think it probably makes sense to do the um, changes in here, and this is easy because like I said, I don't think there are any um, new attributes. I hope there's not. If there is, then tomorrow might be a coding day. Um, think that we will show the radius first torus knots and the
Are you going in the background? For what? Hold on just a minute.
the and the my wife was talking to my son out there. And the new tube diameter for that. But let's see. And I like to put these on multiple lines, just a habit. Torus knot. And so basically all we did was say, hey, show the tube diameter if it's either torus geometry or torus knot, because it's only relevant to them. But it should also be shown for the radius should also be shown for that. And then mesh manager. Well, I don't think we have to do anything for that. We don't have to do anything for that. We don't have to do anything for that. Yeah, so all we did in this mesh manager was add the tube diameter. Add code to handle the tube diameter. So now we're to the mesh service, and there's two places here. And just a reminder that when I asked ChatGPT for help on this, it gave me all this extra code that didn't do anything. So it's sort of like it just annoyed me right now, but I will say that it is important to keep that reminder up. Okay, so this is where we'll get to find out if there was something that we missed, because okay, so it's happy with just a tube and that. Let's see, tubular segments, and radial segments. So that's OP. Oh, and then yeah. I believe that's exactly, oh wait, what is Q? I don't remember Q. How many times geometry? Oh, see, that's the coolest part, is be able to control that. So maybe I'll add that tomorrow. Is add the geometry winds. By default, it'll be 3, so we'll still get something cool, but I definitely want control over that. I cannot, there's no way. Sorry, I just would have to turn in my coding geek card if I walked away from this without being able to set the knot winds. I mean, that's just, it's got to be done. So there's that. And then, but yeah, always remember to double check and double check your code. Make sure that you don't have code that's not doing anything, or you don't know what it's doing. It's very, very distracting or very confusing to future developers, including yourself, because you might be being kind to yourself if there's code in there that you don't know if it's doing anything or not, because once it's gone out and been thoroughly tested by QA and stuff, if you don't I mean, when you remove some code like that, unless there's like serious automated testing, you're not going to, there's a good chance you're going to miss some edge case, for the reason why they added this extra code that seems to do nothing. All right, so I think that should work. So let's add our mesh. Oop, rewound. Show edit form. Cube. Torus. Looking good. Torus. Not. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is a happy, happy thing. Oh, how interesting. 0. I don't know why. 1. It'd be interesting to know what that's all about. It's got to be some sort of default that is different on update than on should have been 12 and 48. I don't think there was defaults when we created it. I don't think we did any of that. Let's see what the default is. So it was 64 and 8. So it would be cool, as you can see right there. It would be cool um, if we could control that, because that was really neat. So add mesh, turn it to a torus knot. Then let's turn it into a material that's a little bit more easier to see. Oh my gosh, I love it. I loves it. Let's go ahead and rotate this bad boy. Let's animate it. So that is cool. We're just at 11 minutes, but I think it's going to take like 10 minutes or something to create, to add the new attribute of um, I guess it's wines, it was called. Um, so right now it's by default 3, but it would be neat to see like a 5 and a 4 and a 8 and a 50. And I guess a 2 would be a 1. Maybe a 1 is just a single ring, and this is 3. But anyways, it was neat though. Like, it would be kind of neat to see. I guess okay, since time really does permit, let's go ahead and see what that square thing looks like. Show edit forms. Bump, 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 bump. Point. And then let's go ahead and give it a normal. I think that's really neat. That is just so freaking neat. Let's just go with X. And actually, I think it's a little bit easier to see the nature of the shape, because it is like that. It's like really neat to see. I guess, yeah, that's connected to that, which is connected to that. Let's slow this animation down. So you can see a lot better. Yeah, see, that goes through there. And yeah, that's really neat. It'd be neat to 3D print this and see, like, I think if you were, wow, I think I think it'd be quite difficult to put together a good, reliable model for 3D printing. Like, I don't really know much about 3D printing. We have literally bought 3D printers and tried them. And to me, like, a 3D printer, so the first two, like, you could literally tell it to print something. And then, like, maybe it would succeed, maybe it wouldn't. But let's say it succeeded. You could say, okay, print that again, and it would fail the next time. Same ink, same everything. And then we got a third one, and that one was super reliable. Like, you could say, hey, print it again, and it would keep on printing. And then after the first set of ink that came with it, once we used that all up, the next ink we bought, it was super unreliable after that. And we could never really figure that out. So, like, we tried different inks and we tried different things, but we could never figure it out. So yeah, we've tried 3D printers. My wife does a lot of work, sells a lot of 3D stuff with her tumblers that she does, and she orders from people that are very good at 3D printing. So I was just actually wondering the other day if I could export this, for example, to a 3D, to an STL, and if maybe they would be willing to print it for me. But it would be interesting to see right out of the gate, if they were like, yeah, this STL is not going to work because of XYZ, and then I could maybe come up with other things to try to make it more, or maybe the orientation, the way you lay it out, or something like that. You might be able to make it more um, reliable. But anyway, so now we're at 15 minutes, which I do think is a much more reasonable time. Tomorrow, I'm definitely going to, I just cannot walk away without being able to control the number of knots on that. So that's probably what I'll do tomorrow. If that's super fast, um, then what I'll probably do next is, and it should be, right? Because, um, yeah, yeah, we'll have to add something in here, and then in here we'll have to just update it to accept the new thing. Um, Wait a second. Wait a tick. Oh, okay. So when I first set it up, I set it up to 1, which is the default. And then down here. So down here, I'll have to set it up to use the new attribute. And then in here, I have to set it up to, I won't have to change anything there. I'll just have to basically do a full copy paste of probably this one, because it's only but it'll only be for the torus, and it'll do that. And then in here, yeah, everywhere I made this change. So this time I would have to actually make a change in here last time. So it should be super quick. And um, my hope is that like that is super quick. It works really well for meshes, right? I can do changes like this really, really well, and just add one mesh after another mesh after another mesh, and it's just like reliable, fast, easy to understand, and all that. I would say that the code that I have for that handles animation, the exact opposite. It is confusing. It is unreliable. Like when I make changes, you just can't predict exactly what's going to happen all the time. It's just absolute mess. Um, so I think I could improve this, because I think what I could do is, well, my goal is to make it to where you don't have to update these things. Like this options just gets generated from the list. If I add a new thing in there, then maybe I have to, worst case scenario, I'm hoping is that I have to say width, and maybe add, like if a width is something that makes sense for it, like all of the existing properties, I would maybe have to add to a list of saying, hey, yeah, this property goes with this mesh, and then maybe, um, but then like once you've done that, you're done, and then um, if you, yeah, I'm hoping to make it to where basically these forms just get generated, and I don't have to go in and manually create forms, form attributes and stuff like that. That's what I'm hoping. I don't, this thing basically where, oh, let's go back to here, mesh, where you could say, like this view here, I thought was absolutely useless, which is the default view. So like that view is absolutely useless. So I definitely will not have a sort of a view like that. Although I do think that the new one, I'm not going to make it to where it just automatically sizes dimensionally to the size of the viewport. I think that's going to be something that we set, and I think I'm envisioning something a little bit more like how Photoshop or Paint or stuff like that is set up. But anyway, so yeah, I think this torus knot thing is awesome, and tomorrow, yeah, we'll add the new attribute. Maybe tomorrow I'll do because that shouldn't take too long, and if it is fast, then maybe I'll also build it out and push it to the website, and then tomorrow will be the last day. I mean, I doubt it'll be the last day, because I think that it's going to be a while on the new one before it'll be a good enough platform to actually demo, be able to say, oh, wait, how should this work? Is this working right? And then I'll bring up this one and maybe tweak it or whatever. So, stuff like that. So, it wouldn't surprise me if I do make more changes to this in the future, but it won't be, really, this won't be the primary goal after tomorrow. Anyways, happy coded, everybody. Bye.